Impossible!
Just gonna die in the end.
Okay, now, whether you're an active YouTuber or just somebody who enjoys watching YouTube videos, I think most of us can agree that there are a significant number of things about the way YouTube goes about day-to-day business that are broken. What I come to believe is the case anyway is the vast majority of it isn't ill-intentioned in any way. I believe that the vast majority of the things that are truly wrong with YouTube are due to a simple breakdown in communication within YouTube itself. And the reason I say this is I don't think policies are put in place at YouTube to make life difficult for YouTubers. Now, mind you, this is coming from someone who, in case you don't know the whole current and history of my channel, if there is such a thing as shadow banning at YouTube of creators, I'm clearly one of them. I can show you the numbers. They're all there. They all bear out. And as a matter of fact, I have an issue right now at my channel that is the most egregious form of YouTube singling someone out that I honestly believe you can never see. I will make a standalone video about that. It's pretty bad. But given that, I'm currently chalking that up to, once again, that entire lack of communication. The problem, as I see it with YouTube now, whether it be with bogus strikes, bogus community guidelines warnings like I got, a lot of the issues with copyright claims and so forth, YouTube as a company is not looking to make life difficult for us as YouTubers. However, the people that enforce the policies, as near as I can tell, have no direct line of communication with those at the top who are making the policies. So basically, if you've got somebody along the front lines at YouTube, which is the lower level folks as far as within the infrastructure, who decides that they don't like you maybe because of your political views, maybe they just don't like your look when they have to review your video, for whatever reason, they can make your life hell. And the way we know this is true, well, plus we have to add to it that the YouTube bot is entirely broken. The system they have for identifying issues automatically is garbage. It doesn't work. It searches for certain keywords, and that's never going to be an effective means of policing anything because, particularly in the English language, individual words can have so many different contextual identities. So it's really a pain in the ass to have to be careful about how you title every video so that the bot doesn't take it the wrong way. If you're a serious YouTuber, if you're a YouTuber, trying to get your videos out there, you spend a lot of your time kneeling at the altar of the almighty bot, of their almighty algorithm, so that it doesn't mistakenly think you're doing something you're not supposed to. Typically, when you make that When it does make a mistake, can it be overturned? Sure. Is it a huge pain in the ass? Absolutely. But here's where it gets really tricky. And we see this all the time. YouTube, let's, for instance, say, send you a community guidelines strike or warning. That was sent many times because the bot picked up something. You appeal it. As near as I can tell. Now, again, the reason we have to make these conjectures is because YouTube won't tell us anything about how their process works. So that's on them. As near as I can tell, there's a good chance that when YouTube responds to you and say, we have reviewed, in-person review of your counterclaim or of your appeal, I'm not entirely sure that's true. It just seems suspicious from what I've seen on my own end and what other people have been willing to share with me. That sounds like a bot response as well. But here's where it gets really screwy. If you follow on Twitter, if you follow @Team YouTube, you will see them continually taking up cases for people where they have received some sort of strike, some sort of punitive action, appealed it, lost. It's egregious. It's ridiculous. So they bring it to this Team YouTube and they get it taken care of. if that punitive action wasn't warranted to begin with, why did the YouTuber have to go through that many steps to get somebody to realize that? Because you have bots that are not doing their job. And what is even a worst case scenario is then you have employees. If that's not the case and it's not bots every time that you have an interaction with YouTube, the other scenario is you have employees who suck at their job because someone womaning that team YouTube Twitter just overrode them. And in many of those cases, it's such an obvious outcome because, and again, I will in a future episode, I will outline exactly what's going on with my channel right now. If you haven't heard this story, you'll get a laugh out of it. It's one where you talk about being singled out with no uncertain terms. With my case, it's not like, okay, well, I think mine was as bad as theirs. You can make that case. It's exactly the same as others who are getting to do, without any issues, without any punitive actions. Everybody else goes merrily along. But I'm not gonna get into that right now. The only way I can see us being able to potentially do anything about this is in big numbers. Now, if these videos, I'm going to make a whole series of videos on YouTube, on surviving YouTube, on the things that are wrong with on the things that are wrong with YouTube. I'm going to make videos on the things that are right with YouTube. They do try and do the right things on a lot of occasions. Hell, for a while, they had a good system in place, as good as can be expected with dealing with copyright. Does that get abused? Yep. Do they take enough action against the abusers? Nope. That's something that has to be corrected. But if YouTube was willing to have any sort of true dialogue with the YouTubers themselves, it could change everything and make everything so much better for both. So if these videos do well, if enough people are watching these videos, if enough people are in agreement with me, I do have a website domain name bought. This is going down the road. I'll set up that website. It'll be a place where we can all meet, discuss these things, and show to YouTube that we've got a big hunk or a significant number of the YouTube creative community paying attention. But it'd be free for all. I don't want anybody to think, oh yeah, this is a scam. It's going to be a union and it's going to cost me $20 a month to join. No, it's not. It's just going to be a place to come absolutely free. Join up. Just tell us who your channel is so we can show to YouTube that these are the people that are interested and together. So if you get a message out, you being YouTube, to one of us, it gets out to all of us. In the meantime, if you're having a specific issue with YouTube, if you have a specific question about how YouTube does things and you'd like a video explaining it, please, 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 I'd spend a lot of time researching this. Feel free to hit me up and enlighten me on what your issue is or what your question would be. You can do it in the comment section of this video. It's even better to go to my Twitter and do it there. Just tag me in a tweet at Twitter. My Twitter handle is in and link is in the description of all my videos. It's just at the Spaz Gamer. And I'm going to be making a bunch more videos online. I'm going to make videos showing you the best way to what to do. English. I'm going to make videos explaining to you the best way to respond to getting a community guidelines warning or strike, the best way to respond getting a copyright strike. A lot of people, when they file their counterclaims, don't really write them, and this is just what I've gleaned from talking to other people about this, write them in a most effective manner. I will give you guys some examples of a good methodology for responding back to them. But we're going to talk all things YouTube because we all sit around and complain about how bad things are, and they are bad. But there's a lot of it that comes from YouTube that is bad simply because of that breakdown in communication and not because they want it to be bad. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I honestly believe. So if that's the case, if there was any way as a group to be able to, for instance, as a group, we should be able to ask YouTube that they can't take a punitive action against the channel for any video that's been up on the platform for more than a year. That's ridiculous. And certainly to take that a step further, they shouldn't be taking punitive actions. By that I mean giving you a strike or doing something that could potentially harm your channel when you created the video, it was in line with the terms of service, but at the time of the issue, it wasn't because the TOS changed. They can't possibly expect us to remember every single element of every video we've had and take that stock and go get rid of that video or re-edit it. There's a lot of little things, but most of all, it's very important to understand that there is a definite and distinct breakdown in communication within YouTube itself. And that's become really apparent to me since I started investigating and researching as best I can how YouTube goes about things. They hide a lot, YouTube will. When you ask them how they come to a determination on anything, their favorite go-to is, well, we can't tell you that or people will abuse the system. In some cases, is that true? Sure. Is it also a crutch so they can basically just do whatever they want? Yeah, it is. And I think some of the times where they say that, considering that money is being changed hands, is as far as what you're eligible to make as a share in ad revenue as opposed to your direct competition for the videos you make, there should be some guidelines that have to be followed there. No one, as long as YouTube's providing this platform for everyone to potentially make that revenue, no one should be kept out of that loop for reasons other than direct violations of a terms of service. And that goes on a lot. So there are a lot of issues to be discussed, but if you guys enjoy videos like this, again, this is just the kickoff. Let me know what you want me to cover. I'll make notes of it. I will cover it in future videos. And again, if you've got a specific issue going on right now, by all means, let me know. Again, comment section of this video, even better over at Twitter. But let's start breaking down YouTube and see. And honestly, the whole end game for all this, in the best of all possible situations, is maybe to get things working a little more fluidly and smoothly between YouTubers and YouTube. A lot of you I know are going to say YouTube has no interest in that. You may be right. I'm pretty much as jaded as they come, but I'm not there yet. I think a lot of it is breakdown in communication within their operation. Let's see if we can find out.